Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Plant Planet, the efficient future. Well, next we're going to hear about how digitalization is shaping the future of construction from someone with 15 years of experience in the heavy civils and construction industry. That is Ian Barnes, who is head of business at SITECH. He leads a highly skilled team at the forefront of the digitalization of the construction industry. Today, he shares his thoughts on what a connected site means for heavy civils and construction projects, and how integrating worksites with technology, connected machines and data insights can benefit the industry. So we say welcome to Ian Barnes.
Welcome and thanks for joining. I'm Ian Barnes, Head of Business for SITECH UK and Ireland. SITECH are the UK and Ireland's distributor for Trimble connected construction, site positioning and software solutions. And we support effectively the heavy constructions and civils side of Trimble's product portfolio. We're the leading machine control supplier to the heavy constructions and civil space throughout the UK and Ireland. And with our integrated construction technology solutions, we work with a really wide variety of businesses in terms of their size, their types, including tier 1 contractors, plant hire, equipment hire, ground workers, earthworks and rental businesses. And because of the brand agnostic nature that we provide as throughout our services and solutions, we're the technical partner of many different organizations of both users and machine types. So firstly, what are SITECH? What do Trimble provide? SITECH really help customers to develop technology ecosystems to optimize their work sites in conjunction with their own technology investments and heavy plant or survey equipment. By utilizing Trimble's machine control, site positioning equipment and software packages, in addition to our own professional services or training through the SITECH Academy, we're able to offer the expertise and knowledge base to help customers get the most out of their equipment and the most out of their projects. Our range of machine control can cover anything from 2D machine control, 3D or 3D automated. This can be on a range of products, whether it's dozers, excavators, graders, milling machine and paving machines. We have a huge, extensive range of product to suit the application, whether somebody's just getting into machine control or if they've really embedded with that technology themselves and are spreading that technology across their own fleet. In terms of site positioning, we offer a range of total stations, GPS locators, radios, to really make sure that the site can talk to the machines and vice versa. And then in terms of software, so we offer a range of both connectivity platforms such as Works Manager, design suites such as Trimble Business Center that helps you design and work your designs to the machine or your machines to send updates designed from the field, then onto Works OS, which is really that holistic package that ties everything together. So what is a connected site? Well, really, the role of technology in the heavy constructions and civil space is and has drastically changed. Digital transformation, Internet of Things, and data connectivity, data flow is happening right now. So what exactly is a connected site and what does it mean for your construction project? Firstly, there's no defined term. It can mean anything from machine control on site to a full office to field and field to machine, minute to minute update connectivity solution. We can go as deep as we wish, or we can keep it quite top level. And it might surprise some people to learn that machine control has been used since the late 90s. But as any technology has seen over the last 20 years or so, it has evolved quite significantly in some instances. And organizations, in our opinion, both must embrace it or have to start looking at it if they've not done so already, really to be able to be competitive in the market. Further to really how the technology has evolved and the benefit it brings, it's its accessibility. So for many contractors adopting machine control, it's the first step to automation of the work site. But with the growing pressures across the industry, especially seeing COVID and as we've become more remote in terms of our working practices and activity, the industry has had pressure on it to adopt and adapt to these new ways of working, really to get the best out of the efficiencies of the projects, but also people. Organizations, in our opinion, now must embrace it in order to be successful. And for those that don't, there are starting to see the cost challenges and considerations that must be made. So for many, it's becoming the standard requirement to meet in terms of our clients and productivity, safety and sustainability. So to that end, it's only adopting one type of digitization, machine control, positioning or software. Whilst it has the potential to meet these challenges, also it has its limitations. So as an example, when we talk about a connected site, the designs can sometimes mean that we have to update machines manually onto each machine. And that possibility of those going wrong when wrong designs are uploaded or design changes are out of date, it can cause a problem. And with no indication of the error until the work's completed. And again, what we're seeing in terms of other scenarios is where an excavator is consistently collecting data, which can be turned into, invaluable as-built insight. It's simply not being collected or used. So when we do collect it, how are we using it? Are we getting the most out of that data and that information? Or, where we see where certain customers aren't working to the latest design, or the surveyors and the project managers making changes, rework's got to be done. So how do we then take those foibles of digitizing and connecting some of the equipment to make sure that the entire site is connected and we're getting the most from all aspects of the connectivity? Because when we see businesses, surveyors, or designers, or other people really embrace the connected site and to move out of their silos, we get past the limitations of the ability to be efficient, to manage the project, or to make the best use of data. So what's the solution? Well, our solution and Trimble's solution, and what we're seeing all our competitors do, is really to make sure we're using construction technology across a connected site to create the integrated work site. It's a concept both as simple but as powerful as it sounds. So at all phases of a project, all essential team members, whether behind a design desk, behind the controls of the machine, they're all seamlessly linked. So for Trimble, we utilize Works Manager, which connects all the different sites across. And whether it's, using GPS 3D or base stations, total stations to send the data from machine to machine, it gives a seamlessly linked system across the work site to ensure the most current complete data is available. Everybody's aware of the progress via two-way data connectivity. That's automatically, wirelessly to everyone at all times. So by connecting the machine control to the workflow management, you can take full advantage of the data generated in the field. So the connected site should be viewed as a construction ecosystem, and it really, really hones in on our ability with data, if used efficiently and smartly, how we can get the most out of our investment. Let's be honest, a lot of this equipment isn't cheap, but if we look at the benefits it drives, in terms of cost savings of people, error reduction, wasted material, fuel saving, it really does provide us with the information we need to justify those investments. And it's especially useful if we look at contractors working on multiple work sites or projects. If we need to see everything connected over the site, we can look at job completion dates, when we can move on to the next path, if we need to allocate resources to a different site over and above, or if there's certain things going wrong where we need to put specific specialists into a site in advance to meet the site deadlines. So a connected site solution allows us to connect with everything from all devices, whether you're on site, off site, or your team needs to manage them all at a push of a button. So by using the full value of the data collected, it really helps us all drive better decision making. And the impact of that connected site is felt by everyone working on the project. Contractors can manage the work site more effectively. We're accessing machine quality data, the performance metrics of both the machine and also the project itself, really to look at the progress and make sure we're getting where we need to be for our timelines against the material move, and also in terms of what we're expecting the cost delivery to be. But the benefits are far, far more reaching than this. So let's look at these in a little bit more detail. So productivity gains. As we mentioned earlier on, there's a lot of opportunity to look at how we eliminate rework, make design changes quickly, reduce errors, and communicate across all aspects of the project far more economically and easily. And the way we do this at SITECH and Trimble is we build all the equipment and technology from the ground up, dedicated to the construction industry, but with very, very good knowledge and understanding of both the geospatial aspect, the BIM modeling, so that it's the connection right at the heart of it all, but it transcends throughout effectively from a greenfield site to the actual completed works or project. A recent study by McKinsey Global, an institute around the industry itself, suggests that really by adding the technology to create a connected construction site, it can reduce the overall project cost by 4 to 6% and increase, as I said earlier, by as much as 30–40% depending on what it is. The next area is just error reduction. It's a key area within construction, and error reduction is all about ensuring the job's done right first time, every time. And if we look at accuracy and quality, by automating project workflows and delivering the highest possible accuracy for site positioning, setting out and measurement of machine control, it really does enable us to save on errors and also save then on the rework of them, going back to the previous of time saved, cost saved. With rapid updates of two-way data, we're able to minimize the chance of work being carried out that isn't correct, or if something's changed on that day. It gives us better visibility, as we said earlier, in terms of the project information, and it's readily available to the office, which can be given to a client in terms of progress update, or even making sure everything's working to plan, or spotting potential hazards or pitfalls. And then with the up-to-date insight of data, the data can be used proactively, looking at what's to happen next, or retrospectively, what could have gone well, as I said earlier. So it really does help us drive better, more articulate decisions. On to cost control. Another area that's really important to SITECH, to Trimble, our customers, is our ability to improve the cost efficiency of the projects. If we look at it in terms of estimating, by utilizing the knowledge, we've got less error, we've got more accurate understanding of what materials we'll need to build. We don't have to build in as much budgeting for, these deviations or the discrepancies. And it means we can keep on track of budget through the planning and the progress tracking throughout. Waste throughout the industry is probably one of the key focal areas of the business. And machine control and the connected site really enables us to hone in on that detail. All this and the connected site then also helps really, really cut delays. Whether it's machine downtime because you've got reduced service frequency, replacement of wearable parts, less overdig, so the job's right first time. It's a much smoother workflow, and the resource planning can be far more accurate than ever before. And that's both in terms of the operators, the equipment, but then also the project, with far more streamlined throughout all the different components of the project. And finally, we come to competitiveness. All of what I've said above and all our competition all know that we've got a vast array of products, both machines, both site positioning equipment and software. But it's really about how we as organizations, and specifically contractors, subcontractors, plant hire, equipment plant hire, can really become more competitive. It's really there to ensure that you're ready to compete at all times and ensure that we're ready for the new activity now. We need to be able to make sure we can win more work. And by being more cost effective, jobs completed on the right time, and using information to stay one step ahead of the project, we can stay one step ahead of the competition. And with our ability to be more competitive, we've got better margins. So if we look at, and I use the term we, because it is a partnership with our customers and also the technology providers, we're all looking to improve margins. And with better cost control, we're able to better price customers without sacrificing the margins. And actually, we're all going to benefit out of this, both in terms of the end customer, in terms of our operators, the clients, the project managers. It's all deriving around better control. And part of that, quite simply, is just by completing jobs faster. If we look at the comparison of a technology job where we've used machine control or site positioning versus those that don't, those technology savvy customers really have seen the improvements that it provides them without compromising on quality. And by embracing this digital transformation that's happening right now and will continue to do so over the next few years, it's the great opportunity to be within the industry and really take advantage of the benefits that it brings and future-proof the organizational success. So that's just about it from me, and it's probably time to wrap up. But I hope that this discussion has given you the opportunity and the insight in terms of what a connected site can do for you. A connected site is and really should be viewed as the contractor's secret weapon for improving productivity, the safety, and our ability to compete. So the question to our customers are, what are you waiting for? And with that, so all that's left for me to do is to say thank you for your time. It's been great to speak with you or present to you. So let's take some questions.
And thank you very much. Let's go straight to the questions, or you've already been asking your questions using the Q&A box on your screen. And let's start with this one from James. If it's becoming more important for companies to use technology like this, is there a chance that smaller companies will be left behind because either they're unable to afford the spend on new technology, or they're unwilling to take the risk? They can think of other places that might have a more urgent call on the capital.
Yeah, it's a really good question. I saw it pop up in the chat and I wanted to cover it off in this discussion. I think that the question's valid. I think what SITECH and our competitors are able to do more than ever before is we can provide a number of solutions to support some of the smaller contractors or those who want to get into the technology, don't necessarily understand how it works or the benefits for them. So we offer a range of both rented products, so it's a lower cost investment. Customers can rent it out as per the contract that they need it for. We're also able in certain instances to provide a trial of the equipment, so people can get to understand how it works, the benefits, and what it really means for them as a business in terms of operators, projects, etc. And that will give them a little bit more of assurance in terms of, yes, this is the right investment for me, and how that would go about working. And then what we will do with that, whether it's purchased, rented, or trialed, will provide the training in terms of how to get the best out of the equipment. So whilst we want, my opinion is that people need to adopt it, what we're doing in the background is making sure that we're not alienating any customer in terms of the size or the technical understanding of it, to really embrace it and move with the times and go on that journey with us. And to be honest, that's where Declan, we as an organization, have really invested our time with customers, and most of the customers we have definitely gone on a journey, and that's a learning journey, both in terms of trusting in SITECH and the Trimble as an organization and brand, but then going and exploring and discovering how the technology really is transforming their businesses.
A couple of questions about how the technology actually works behind the scenes. Is your technology capable of monitoring the overall CO2 levels produced by plant on site? The more efficient and productive a site is, then the less CO2 is produced, but can this be measured?
So to be honest with you, I'm going to have to get back to that specific question in terms of what it can and can't do. We are launching various platforms, and if you think about all the different engine brands and manufacturers, as Europe's going into stage 5 emission controls and the ability for CAN bus to specifically tell what's being burnt. There is functionality. So Trimble have launched WorksOS, which we're launching to the market this year, which provides an overall machine stroke project monitoring facility. We don't yet know how that's going to be plugged in, but what I'll do is, if you can forward me, and I'll forward my details onto the individuals who asked the question, I'm going to look at how specifically we can get into that branch of CO2 measurement. Fundamentally, hours operated versus projected and actually then completed, you can calculate your time saved. So you should be able to work out, your CO2 per hour based on that.
Okay, what we'll do is I'll ask you, Ian, if you can put your LinkedIn details into the chat, and then Donovan, who asked the question, can pick it up from there and make their own inquiries. This question, without a name, would the system integrate with a machine fitted with a competitor's system on site?
It's a little bit of a wide question. So there's various builds that SITECH can provide in terms of the Trimble. So we have a basic 2D overlay, which is effectively a base install kit, which is based on the frame of the machine, and it plugs into the CAN bus system, and then onto which we provide a cab kit. You can give it 2D machine control, 3D, or you can go fully automated. The challenge that we and our competitors have, whether it's Topcon, like a Trimble, they're all quite bespoke systems. So can you plug into a specific Deutsch connector that Leica may have, sometimes the answer is no, but more often what we're seeing is as more and more machines come into the market, they're already enabled with technology. So effectively, it can be a plug and play system that runs on it. But there's nothing to stop, and we see it quite a lot in the rental arena, where you might have a competitor brand base install and a Trimble SITECH base install, and then based on customer preference, then you can put on the cab kit. My vision of what the future is, and I think this is one of the questions that came out earlier within Adrian's speech, is in terms of those behaviours that are coming out into the marketplace. The more and more people adopt, the more the industry goes towards it in terms of, you know, the general market direction. And there will be a point in the not too distant future, in my opinion, where the machinery, you know, whether it's cat excavator, you know, Hitachi, Komatsu, JCB, doesn't really matter which, have their own integrated systems on there, and then we all plug and utilise those systems.
Okay, Ian Barnes, thank you very much for your remarks and for your answers to our questions as well.